Good morning everyone, I'm Stu.
I'm Sarah, and welcome back to the 350 Bird Challenge.
In this video, we're at High Park in Toronto. Reports of a red-headed woodpecker. Okay everyone, welcome back. As mentioned, there is a red-headed woodpecker being reported here at High Park. That would be an awesome find for us to get for the 350 bird challenge. We did get it last year, but we went quite a long way, didn't we, Sarah?
Yeah, so we went all the way to Michigan to Kensington Metro Park to find it last year.
They are a bit more common out that way. Talk about that a little bit in a moment, but let's head to where this bird was last seen.
We arrived at High Park early on a wet morning. The park sits right in the middle of Toronto, just north of Humber Bay, and at around 400 acres, it's one of the biggest green spaces in the city. Despite being so urban, it's packed with good habitat, including some rare in Ontario oak savanna. People often ask us why we don't visit High Park more often in these videos. We'd love to, because the birding can be brilliant here all year round, but without diving too deep into the local debate, car access has been restricted on weekends, and when you're hauling bulky camera gear across the city, that makes things a bit tricky for us. It's late July in this video, and that's when tiny newborn American toads start emerging from the shallow edges of ponds and wetlands, hopping off towards the damp undergrowth of the forest floor. They're barely the size of a fingernail, and you'll often see them crossing paths and trails in their dozens.
Okay, so if you don't know, the reason that the red-headed woodpecker is of such interest to us is that it's very much a declining bird in southern Ontario. It prefers open woodland habitat, oak savanna, that kind of thing, and unfortunately, due to urban sprawl, agriculture, there's just not very much of that habitat left in southern Ontario. It also likes freestanding dead trees. It's where they nest, it's where they cache their food, and humans don't much like forest fires near to urban centres, so those fires have been suppressed. Normally they would happen naturally, and so the bird doesn't have a ton of habitat, but here at High Park there is a small pocket of that kind of habitat, and the bird has probably found itself here because of that. Hopefully we can find the bird too.
A few small ponds line the walk north through the park. Perched above them, a couple of black-crowned night herons keeping a sharp eye on things. It didn't take us long to reach the area where the red-headed woodpecker had been reported. Now it was just a matter of waiting for it to make an appearance. There was no shortage of woodpeckers to keep us entertained. Red-bellied woodpeckers especially seemed to be everywhere. A hairy woodpecker popped in too, but the noisiest, and perhaps the most plentiful? The northern flicker. These ones were really lively this morning, spending plenty of time feeding. Many birds were at distance today, so we'll skip footage of things like cedar waxwings and robins, but we did manage a great crested flycatcher a little bit closer, as well as some goldfinch and a few more species besides. As I say, the views weren't super close. The birds mostly perched on these bare trees set back from where we were stood.
Got it. Yes!
And then the star of the show. Eventually the red-headed woodpecker came out to play. As it moved a little closer, we really got to appreciate this bird, a true treat for Toronto birders, instantly recognisable with that blazing crimson head. For anyone new to birding in Ontario who's ever wondered, why is the red-bellied woodpecker not called a red-headed woodpecker? Well, here's your answer. This bird has the reddest head of them all, perfectly offset by glossy black wings and a pure white body. Elsewhere in the park we had close views of a red-tailed hawk. We think it was probably hunting to feed a nearby fledgling that we could hear calling. and this red-winged blackbird wasn't exactly shy about saying hello.
Okay guys, we found the red-headed woodpecker. That's the main thing that we came for, a bird that's getting trickier to find. As mentioned, we've travelled around quite a lot to find it in the past. They do crop up occasionally, more so perhaps in the southwest of Ontario, so to find one right in our backyards was pretty special. Stay tuned to this video. I have absolutely no idea what's happening next, but we're going to go home for the rest of today. There's just no targets around, it's that time of year, but we will tag on our next adventure to this video, so stay tuned. Whatever we do continues after the break.
Quebec is a province dominated by water and forest. At its heart lies the St. Lawrence, a river so vast it becomes an estuary, feeding tidal flats, rocky islands and sea cliffs alive with birds. Beyond the river, endless boreal forest stretches across the land. Dark spruce and pine filled with warblers, thrushes and crossbills, their song filling the canopy. Along the river's edge, wetlands and estuaries harbour herons, terns and shorebirds, each bound to the turning of the tide and the seasons. For birders, Quebec is a meeting place of forest and water, land and sea, north and south.
Here in Quebec, we'll explore those environments and the birds that depend on them.
Before we continue, it's time to make a correction. In our summer birding video, we said that this bird was a sanderling, but it's not. It's a semi-palmated sandpiper, thanks to Stephen G.B., who was the first person to spot it. Semi-palmated sandpiper is still a new bird for our list, so the counter doesn't need to change. Okay, back to the video.
Good morning everyone. You find us at Pelee National Park. We've come quite a long way, just on a bit of a whim really. July, not the best time for birding, but Pelee, one of the best places for birding, so we figured it might level each other out. We're specifically looking for a particular bird, aren't we, Sarah?
Yeah, so ideally we would like to see a prothonotary warbler.
We're currently in some pretty good habitat for that, just taking a look around this kind of swampy area.
Our visit to the park began along the Woodland Nature Trail, but this isn't our longest visit to Point Pelee, let me tell you. The mosquitoes were relentless, so we didn't stay long. Prothonotary warblers nest in cavities in swampy habitats, so that's where we looked.
Just waiting around a little bit to see if the bird shows up for us. We have seen it in this general location in previous years. There's quite a few butterflies around today, so while we wait, I'll show you a couple of three of those that we've seen.
This butterfly has a few different common names and subspecies. Common names and spellings on this channel come from Nature Serve Canada, so we'll go with what they say, red-spotted purple. When is a monarch not a monarch? When it's a viceroy in disguise. But to identify a viceroy, check the size. They're a little bit smaller than monarchs, and those curved black lines across the hindwings are a dead giveaway. This is a hackberry emperor, a vulnerable species found mostly in the southwest of Ontario, mainly because it relies on the common hackberry tree, which itself is largely restricted to that region. Point Pelee is a good place to see this butterfly species. Still no sign of the prothonotary. It would have been better to search for this bird in May, when they're out singing and defending their territory, but hey, here we are. Still near the swamp, we spotted this plain-looking female common yellowthroat on a fallen tree. And a noisy house wren shortly afterwards. We gave up on the prothonotary warbler, unfortunately.
You remember who else likes these freestanding dead trees from earlier in the video? We've just seen another red-headed woodpecker. You go looking for one and you'll find two in one video, but pretty happy about that because it's probably the closest views we've ever had of a red-headed woodpecker, but certainly in Ontario anyway.
Isn't it always the way? You put in the effort for a tough bird and then later on you keep bumping into them. Much better looks at the red-headed on this occasion. Here's a gnatcatcher helping to deal with some of those pesky mosquitoes that were still following us around. Thanks, buddy.
Well guys, there's no point pretending it isn't a different day because we're wearing different clothes, and the observant amongst you may have noticed that. Unfortunately, we didn't find the prothonotary warbler. We've been getting eaten alive by mosquitoes really bad, and it's quite humid, hot and sweaty, not very pleasant at all really, but we did see a couple of cool things, including that red-headed woodpecker. I also saw a moth that I'd never seen before, Polyphemus moth, one of the largest giant silk moths in North America, so that was a pretty cool finding. And I'll just quickly tell you, we also went to the marsh boardwalk here at Point Pelee. We were hoping to find black tern. We did spot one, so took a few photos of that, got a little bit of video footage. It is a bird that we'd already seen this year, but only kind of a flyby, so I'm not sure how good the footage from that would have been, but better looks this time. So we have had another quick look around the Woodland Trail and also Tilden Woods here at Point Pelee on a second attempt to find the prothonotary warbler, but we haven't found it, so we may as well just end this video here. Bit of a downer, but that's the way that birding sometimes goes, and we stay kind of focused on the positives. Red-headed woodpecker, we went all the way to Michigan to find that last year. At least we got it in Ontario this year, twice. Used up all of our luck, I guess. Maybe that's why we didn't find the prothonotary. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. We'd really appreciate it if people would like the video. A few of you do that quite often, but the likes aren't super high, so if you've not done that before, please just take the time to hit the like button. I know quite a few of you watch on TV and it's slightly more awkward, but it really does help the channel spread the word a little bit further and get more people watching. If you could also please leave us a comment. A lot of our loyal viewers do that and we appreciate it. And finally, Sarah,
If you haven't already, please subscribe, and after subscribing, if you select the bell, you'll get notifications when new videos are posted.
thanks for watching guys. Only one bird in this video, but it is July. Last year in July we did also only see one bird, so at least there's that. Things will start picking up again here in Ontario soon as the fall migration gets underway. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.